All right. We're back. Had a week hiatus here, but it is August 14th. It is a Monday morning. I'm going to clear some of these lines off my chart here and start fresh. But I wanted to keep them here just to observe some of the levels that I had from the previous week and how, well, 2 weeks ago, and how the previous week kind of respected those levels, especially like this 445 area. You know, the low of day here, you can see it was a good support about 3 days in a row. This strong area of resistance that we had broken through a while back at 443 or 444 rather, and how that acted as kind of the support for last Friday's session. So we were in this uptrend, we gapped down, we broke out, and we've been making lower highs and lower lows ever since. So and clear out that, excuse me, I'm just getting some water real quick and then I'll get to it. All right, that's wonderful. Okay, now let's get into it. I'm gonna throw on some music here. All right. So definitely want to remark this area here, this 444. As you can see, it was really strong resistance until we busted above it. We've come down, and that's kind of been our local support that we recently have sat on, or kind of opened the day at that price, pushed down a little bit, not even a full dollar, for pushing up and having a green day. So that's a level I'm watching, absolutely. In terms of something that I'm looking for above us, you know, we have this strong price here, excuse me, where you can see it was resistance a few days here, couldn't close above it, got above it. Now that we're below it, it's been a strong resistance for 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we pushed up above it about $1, but immediately pulled back. So that's an area above us. So I'm looking for kind of in this in between. There's not a lot. You could say potentially this 445 area. I think that's worth pointing out as well, as we have had that active support quite a few times, and we did break below it to this support about $1 below. But in terms of looking at the daily chart, that's kind of what I'm seeing there. And we are in a downtrend currently. We were, well, let's see here. Let's see if we can extract something here. You know, you could say that long term we're still in a downtrend, or excuse me, we're still in an uptrend. Kind of sitting on that trend line. If you draw from here, I had a more recent trend line from here. Excuse me, I guess it was from here that we had broken on the gap down. You can see that this trend line here has been kind of broken, so it just depends on how far you want to go back and draw that. But in the past in the past 2 weeks, we have been trending down, as we have been making lower highs and lower lows. But I'm gonna dive into the hourly chart and see if we can't get some additional clarity here. That's kind of a wild. Immediately, what I'm noticing is just like this very strong channel that we have here. That we've been in. Just pretty volatile swings up and down within that channel. Definitely something to make note of. But yeah, it looks like that 445 level has been respected as a bottom on numerous occasions. Just looking at the pre-market here, we do have a bit of like an in-between, almost like last Friday, where we're kind of opening between these two levels. I think this 444 is very strong support. I actually do want to back up and see what could potentially be below us in terms of targets to the downside. I think that 440 is a big one. I like 440 as a level to watch. I know it's, you know, $4 below where we're at. So certainly could see some actually, I really like this area too. I don't know how that passed me by initially, but you can see it was support this day, heavy resistance this day, so that 442.6-ish area would be one I'd watch for as well. Oh, excuse me. Let's see if we can pull that up on the 442.6. Let's see what that looks like on the hourly here. So that's this level right here. Yeah, I do like that. You can see it was the bottom for a few days. Resistance here, active support here. Yeah. So if we break below that 444, that 442.5 or so, that's definitely a target to the downside in terms of like a next area of interest. Just from a quick glance, I'm noticing like this 448 maybe to the upside in terms of potential target. You can see that we bounced off it a few times pre-market during trading sessions, resistance, just some confluence around that area. I wouldn't say that that's the strongest level, but definitely an area that we've seen some price action, some kind of price, I guess, a change of direction in terms of change of trend, whether it's been going up and rejecting or coming down and finding support at that level and resuming upwards. So just with the kind of the weakness that we've been showing, the sell-off in the pre-market. Yeah, interesting. We were down here, we gapped up, and then we already filled that gap in the pre-market. So really anything goes. I'll dive into the 15-minute here and see if we can. Well, I got about 2 minutes left, so I need to hurry up. I'm in a little bit of a slow mode right now. Oh man, I'm out of my element here. All right, it's kind of a wide zone, but that is the area of interest from well, not yesterday, but Friday, the previous trading days. High of day. Here we have the area of low of day. Add a little one of those and one of those. Whoops. There we go. So, edit properties of price range. This will be the low of day. So I mark that to distinguish that. And I'll mark this as well, so that's the high of Friday's session. Yeah, we'll get into the trading view. We'll adjust things here. Go for tomorrow's expiration. What are we looking at? I'll tentatively say like 450 or 446 on calls. We'll be looking at maybe 444 on puts or something. This is to be adjusted. I don't really have a trade in mind necessarily at the moment. I'm gonna let things play out for a bit and just see where we're at. Looks like we are getting an initial kind of rejection off this 445 off the open. I do want to mark some of these swing lows in the pre-market. This is going to be a intraday. I'll just mark it like that. Here we have the high of the pre-market, and I'll mark it like this. Sweet. Alrighty. So what we've got is we're kind of in this range. I'm not going to take a trade immediately here, but we are rejecting off that higher time frame area of support that is turned resistance 445. Also a big hold number. So right off the open, we're getting a rejection off that. It looks like we're approaching the low of the pre-market. Yeah, I think with this 444 being here, this is a pretty strong support on a higher time frame, as well as having the low of day kind of demand area right below that. I would like to see a clearing of this to take a move to the downside. Maybe that's a little overcautious. But you can see rejected off this 445, coming down, finding a little bit of support, this pre-market low. Like I said, I don't really have a specific trade in mind that I'm looking for right off this open. I want to see some sort of direction. We are trading within Friday's range, so we're within the high and the low of Friday. Could mean we see some chop. And in being in this situation where we're kind of in this range, I'm gonna be a little bit more patient. I want to see some sort of movement. I'm gonna watch what the price does intraday to try to get an understanding of how we're feeling here. We have a lot of support below us between this 444, this low of Friday's session, this kind of demand area there, this low of pre-market that we bounced off twice. So there's definitely a bit of support below us. We have this 445 resistance, and then there's not much above us before we get up into this supply range that was the high of Friday's session. So we have a little bit more flexibility, or like a little bit more room to run to the upside versus, we kind of have a lot of things to break through to the downside. Not saying it doesn't happen, but just something to keep in mind there. I guess what I mean is if we see movement to the upside, it could be a cleaner move versus what might be kind of a choppy, very choppy move. If we start trending down, we might get a lot of bounces and kind of short-term swings in here, 50-cent swings or so. You can definitely trade them, but so off the open, we found a little bit of resistance to that 445, but we found some support at that pre-market low. Now we're kind of retesting that 445. We'll see if we can break above it. If we break to the upside, I would love to see us come and retest this area for a potential bounce and continuation up into this supply zone. I think ideally that would probably be the cleanest move that we could have that I'm seeing right now, unless we completely break down. If we break down, we have some room to run to the downside, but I think in terms of areas of interest, if we move to the upside, that could be a cleaner move to capitalize on. So getting some rejection off that 445 again. Seeming like that's gonna be a tough one to break through. Yeah, you can see that pre-market low is also an area that we found quite a bit of support on Friday's session as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bounces off that area here. That's 444.5-ish. So that should act as pretty strong support. So we have, indication that it has 6 times in the previous trading day, and 3 times pre-market already acted as support in the opening 10 minutes. So we'll see. I'm definitely not rushing into any trades off the open here. So once again, you see that looks like buyers are stepping in down here. We've come down and touched this area twice now. Each time price gets pushed up pretty significantly. So if we could break above this 445, looks like we're trying here. Volume is really pushing in, so there are buyers down here. That's for sure, and we saw that on Friday at this level. So we'll see if we can break above this 445, but if we do, I really like continuation up into this area here. In which case, yeah, 446 calls, that would be perfect. I'd really like to see a break and a retest of this area. And then continuation up into this zone. That'd be beautiful, but we'll see if we can get it. We also see some resistance at 445, so I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here. That's super zoomed in. All right, attempt number 3 to break above 445. Let's see if we get it. We are just touching it pretty much to the T. Just pushing up to it. There we go. So we broke above. Yep. We're getting that push up. Make sure we got the correct quantities on everything. We're looking good. So if we can close above this 445, I'm looking to take calls on a pullback. And ideally ride this up into this area. We could have a choppier day, so we could have some, you know, potentially some resistance or, you know, some chop in here. But in terms of the next area that I'm looking for is this 446, pretty much on the dot. You can see the pre-market activity. We'll pull back, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any. Maybe here, that's pretty much 446. Yeah, so if we can break above this, show some strength, I'm taking calls on a pullback. 446 is the target, which would be about, you know, if we can get about $1 move, that'd be beautiful. So we'll see if it gives it to us. Gotta take what price gives us. Oh my. So we are having some trouble closing up above that level. You can see we pushed up above it and getting rejected pretty strong. That's kind of the big indicator there, is if we can close up above that level and show some strength on that, which, yeah, looks like we might. We're getting some buying coming in. There we go. All right. So we're showing some strength. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's nice. All right. There is no news dropping today, which is good, so we shouldn't see any, you know, unexpected volatility. There's some news tomorrow pre-market. So it's still kind of struggling to stay above that 445. But yeah, it's a battle. You see, we get pushed down, we get pushed right back up above. Volume's coming in. $30 seconds left in this. So it looks like we will close above that level with some relatively strong volume compared to the previous candles, so maybe I spoke too soon. We'll see if we can't get a little push here right at the end. All right, looks like we're all right. So we opened right at that level. Yeah, not a trade I would take immediately. It's too close. I want to see it close further above. I want to see some strength and then a pullback into that area. So opening right at that price. We could bounce from here and continue up, but it's a little too close for my comfort. I want to see a little bit more convincing price action. Looks like my headphones are about to die. That's unfortunate. We're showing some strength here. There we go. We're getting a push up. We have this high a day. We'll see if we can break above that. We seem to reject kind of right as we touched it. We're seeing some good support at 445 now that we're above it, which is nice. Perhaps I spoke too soon again. But that's why I wanted to wait and not try to take a position there. Because we got pushed down at the end of that previous candle. We were facing some resistance at that level for sure. We didn't have a very convincing close above that level. And we opened right at it. So I didn't want to take calls at resistance. You know, ideally we break above and then pull back into it. So that's kind of a textbook example of why that would have been not a trade that I would take there. As you can see, we have sold off and we are selling off pretty seriously. We'll see if we find support at the previous support level. This 444.4. It's pretty fun to say. Looks like we are for now. But yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are in Friday's range, so we might get some chop, kind of as we're seeing here. Some serious volume coming in though. I mean, we still have over a minute left in this candle. That's almost as high as the previous two. I suppose almost the highest volume candle that we've had since the opening. So definitely some sellers up there. So as we're coming to a close on this, we're really testing that I guess pre-market low and low of day, coincides with both. I suppose you could trade this range. Try to take a call, like a 445 call off a bounce here. Sell at 445. Just try to play this little range that we're in. I'm not sure that I like that. It's like a very scalpy. I mean, you could do it, but it's pretty scalpy. We're not in a trend. We're just chopping. So you can play the chop. As you see here, it's been pretty consistent. You can play it both ways. I'm curious how that moved. I mean, at a low of like 158 to like 10%. It's not bad for, less than 2 minutes if you want to take a quick scalp. So once again, there we go. This is kind of crazy price action, really. Let's see if we can finish this one strong. So yeah, we have set a new high of day by a few cents there on this current candle. We still see some sellers up in this area. This is looking a bit more promising in terms of if we could show some strength and continuation. We'll see though. We'll see. There's certainly sellers. When we get up in that area, we get some resistance. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I'm not sure I really like any trades I'm seeing right now. Got a minute left here. If we don't have a convincing close up above this 445, we're just gonna have to wait for a break in one direction or the other. Like I said, you could scalp, calls off this puts off this resistance, calls off this support. It's worked out a number of times already. But I'd really like to see just more of a sustained move than just this chop. As we're coming to the close of this candle, I'm not sure we're gonna get it. Looks like it. Looks like we're not. Yeah, so it's more of the same that we're seeing here. I mean, if you wanted to scalp this range, it's been pretty accurate for opening 30 minutes or so. I'm just not necessarily looking for that. It's looking a bit more promising. Found some support here, pushing up a bit. It's more of what I'm looking for in terms of taking a call with hopeful continuation upwards. We still have not really been able to break this area here though. That is something to consider, I suppose. But if we finish this candle strong, and we come back and retest this area, I would look to take a call, just because we have a break above this, a break and close above this, showing some strong support. So yeah, I'm looking for a pullback into that area in which I would take a 446 call. I'm gonna take a call here. Seem to have gotten a decent fill on that. And we will exit this trade if it looks like we're gonna break below this. So you see we pushed down below 445, excuse me, a bit. Looks like we have found some support. Hopefully we can get a cleaner move up now that we've broken above that resistance. You know, I won't hold my breath based on the price action that we've had this morning. But ideally we could get some cleaner movement up now. That's what I'm looking for. So see if we can't show some strength. I don't really see any reason for us to stop. We have set a new high of day. We have shown some support off this area here. I see no really barrier to us until we get up to that 446. So that's the target. I am happy to see that it looks like we do have buyers in this 445 area now that we've gotten above it. I mean, we've retested it quite a few times. We're not showing quite the strength to the upside that I want to see. But I feel confident in this trade as of now. Got a little less than a minute left here. It'd be great to see this close with some strength. We do have the lowest volume candle that we've had so far, so make of that what you will. Volume has declined as we've pushed up. That's not great. You do expect to see some volume fall off from the very opening. It's usually the highest volume. So as long as it doesn't look too shabby, as long as price action, you know, if it's holding above that level, showing strength, which it appears we're getting, and here we go. So let's see if we can't hit that 446. That's ideally my target. Looking back, we don't really have anything to make me think that we won't get up into that area. But that's ultimately my target. This past week, I was on vacation. I had some time to read, and I wasn't trading at all. And I finished a book that I had started called Trading in the Zone. It's a pretty popular book for trading. And a quote that really stuck with me was, be rigid in your rules, but flexible in your expectations. So sticking to your rules, having discipline in your trading, but understanding that you're never going to be able to predict the market 100%. You know, you just have to take, it's a game of probabilities. It's a game of odds. So find the setups that put the probabilities in your favor. Stick strictly to your rules that you have for yourself. But try to avoid having strong expectations, as that can often lead to disappointment, or, you know, feelings of regret or frustration. But everything's looking really good on the 5-minute, on the 15-minute. We're looking really bullish here. I'd love to see us push up into 446. That would be excellent. That'd be a really nice trade for me. Yeah, we're kind of in this zone where we have nothing really looking to stop us. I mean, this was the most recent area of resistance potentially from Friday's session. We're pushing up above that. The 446 could come. It could come. Nice. So we saw a pretty big jump in volume accompanying that push up, so that's really good. That's some buyers stepping in. Like I said, I don't think we have much to stop us until we get right up to that 446. So as we're approaching that, I am looking to take profit. I'm just hoping to get a small little push. I think that will be our final. Nice. Yeah, it's really good to see that coming in. That volume pushing up at the end of this candle here. We got 30 seconds, or a little over 40. That's beautiful. That's really good. to see volume and price align is makes me feel more confident in this trade. I think that's one thing that I could really improve on, and I'm looking to continue to improve on, is just holding a trade throughout, you know, letting it play out a little longer, not taking profits too early or jumping the ship too early, but letting things work out. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We get that final push. But yeah, just patience and not being fearful. So kind of retesting that high day that we just set. Beautiful. We are just pushing up strong. I might get ready to exit this position here. As soon as we get this next little push. Wonderful. So I took profit maybe a little early, but I didn't want to wait exactly till 446 because we don't always hit the exact zone or area. Looks like we might here. We're pushing up. There we go. So that would have been a better exit right there. Overall, really happy with that trade. Looks like we'll push up into this area before finding any resistance here. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I hope somebody else got in on that besides just me, because that was pretty textbook. You know, we had this higher time frame area of once support, we opened up below it, so it was acting as resistance. You could see the inability to break above it for a bit. Once we did break above it, showed strong support on the 5-minute chart, came down, retested it, and look at this, is beautiful. You know, I could have held that a little longer and got a little squeezed out some extra juice, but not mad at that. About $1 move. That's a good return. So I think I cleared probably around $28 profit. My position was about what was it? I think my entry was like 131 or something like that. So yeah, over a 20% return on that. Not bad at all. With that though, that probably will be the trade that I take today. I potentially might look for a put up in here, as I expect us to pull back a bit from this run that we're having as we enter this supply zone. I might stick around for a few more minutes, but not actively looking for any trades at the moment. I'm happy with capturing what we got. It worked out to perfection. So on a range day where we're inside the previous day's range, that's about as nice of a trade as you can ask for. But yeah, increasing volume. The volume's boosting as we're pushing up into this area, so that's really nice. And that the premium really spiked once we got up in here, so I suppose it would have been worth it. My return probably could have been, you know, pretty high had I waited just a little bit. But like I said, can't complain. Definitely look for a potential short-term reversal or like a pullback from this area. As you can see, that's kind of a supply area from Friday's session where we had a rejection and a sharp pullback. So something you could watch here. I think I am gonna step away for the day, take care of some things. But yeah, something to watch here. If you're gonna continue trading and looking for another move, I'd wait for some confirmation. You know, and you also want to be careful as we are in an uptrend. We did show a lot of strength, a lot of volume pushing up. So if you do take a put up in this area, I'm not sure that I would try to, you know, hold it for some super long sell-off. I'd be surprised if we got that. But you could probably target it a nice little pullback before we continue, or, you know, maybe we just chop around. But with that being said, appreciate you being here, and I will be back tomorrow. Actually, I'll be back this evening with a recap of the trade that I took today, what I was looking for, why I did what I did. And there's always something to be learned. I could have waited until it hit my target exactly because it played out perfectly. I got out a little early, so left some money on the table, but overall things worked out pretty well. Followed my rules and things went according to plan. So, all right, I'll be back this evening for a recap, and I will be back every morning this week for a live trading session. So, hope you all have a good day. Peace.